So you guys know when you've been sitting on your butt for a while and you haven't ridden in, say, a month or two, when you decide to go for a ride for the first time to kind of shake off the cobwebs, you get that nervous feeling in your stomach. So whenever I get to go for a ride after having not ridden for a while, there's always that kind of a little bit of a nervous feeling. And it's actually a rare treat for me to be able to go riding today. Almost the middle of January. It's like, what is it, about 35 degrees and the wind's blowing about 30 miles an hour, so it's pretty cold out here. But that nervous feeling you get, it fades away pretty quickly though once you get on the bike. And everything just kind of comes back to you. But talking about nervous feelings, I kind of wanted to talk about something while I'm out here riding around today, and that's when you should quit riding your motorcycle. So back to my point, there was a guy on YouTube who had a channel that was kind of exploding there for a while, had a whole bunch of good momentum behind it, and his name was The Beach Biker. Now I want to start off by telling the story about this guy, and if I get any of these facts wrong, Chad, if you're watching, I apologize for it. But for a while there, he had really good momentum behind his channel, and he's doing a lot of cool things. Rode a Sportster, and he did an interview with Shade Tree Surgeon, who I'm sure all of you are familiar with. So he had things going on, right? But he decided to quit riding. Now this is why it might be where I get something wrong, but he decided to quit riding because I think it was his new to him wife, or I don't know how long they'd been married, or maybe it's just a girlfriend or something, but she had a close call in traffic and nearly got in an accident or something, and I guess he's been in a few close calls. And it kind of got him to thinking about, is this really worth it? Being out here riding and stuff. And what makes his situation a little bit different is he had a young kid, probably a baby. Once again, apologize if I'm getting anything wrong. I think oh, there it goes. These stupid turn signals on these old bikes. I need to take that thing apart and clean the contacts out in it. But so he had either a young baby or a very young child in the house at the time, and he had decided that, I should probably stop riding, because if I end up getting in an accident and die, my child's going to end up without a father. And I could totally understand his reasons for doing it. I mean, myself, when my kids were really super young and growing up and everything, I'm in their older teens now, but I never would have thought about starting to ride a motorcycle when they were really young, because I have the same feelings as Chad does. I don't want to end up leaving my kids, without a father. So to me, that is a perfectly legit reason. I can't even tell which way this blinker's going. That is a perfectly legit reason to stop riding a motorcycle. What the hell is going on here? Okay, I got left. Oh yeah. Well, it looks like I got my next project. I gotta take that button apart and fix it. Turn signals are not wanting to work, but that's a smart move on his part. I'd have done the same thing. I myself couldn't imagine being so selfish that I'd continue to ride when there's a baby in the house. Now I know there's a lot of guys out there that do it, and I'm perfectly fine with that too, but I can understand his thought process, what he went through. So which brings me to ask myself a question: when am I going to stop riding? Now that my kids are pretty much all grown up, my daughter's 16, my son's about to turn 18. I'm not saying that my kids don't care about me, but them being older and more mature and more capable of, at least taking care of themselves, or helping their mother out to take care of her, and vice versa. It goes back and forth. them being of an age where I think that they'll be okay if something were to happen to me, is it factored into me deciding to start riding a motorcycle. Now, another reason why I think that it would be wise for you to stop, or well, for me to stop riding, or for anybody to stop riding a motorcycle, is due to physical limitations. Like if you had something happen to you where you know, you couldn't operate the controls on a motorcycle, then that's a perfectly legit reason to stop riding too. If you had a hand injury or something like that, and you just weren't able to operate your bike safely, cool, quit riding. And I know there's a lot of guys out there that might have even given Chad a whole bunch of shit for quit riding with his motorcycle. I know when he made the announcement on his channel that he was going to quit, there was probably quite a few guys in there that decided, well, I'm not going to follow you anymore, I don't care. You know, I came to this channel for motorcycle content, and since you're not giving us that, I'm out. Which is unfortunate, but I'm sure he knew that that was going to happen. I mean, I'm sure if I decided to take this channel in a different direction and quit talking about motorcycles and riding bikes, a whole bunch of you guys would probably leave too, and I would expect it. But when he made that announcement to kind of change up his program on his channel over there, he decided he was going to take it in the direction more of like filmmaking and photography and stuff, and I was actually kind of happy about that, because I'm, you know, an aspiring kind of, you know, photographer, and I like filming things and all that stuff, so I followed him right over there and I kept watching his videos. But after he made the switch over, it just didn't seem like he was putting out as much stuff, and I was kind of bummed out about it, because I liked the dude. He had a humble personality to him. He was genuine. Now he's put out several videos, you know, since then, talking about some things, but ooh, fourth gear in the shadow. Talk about knocking cobwebs off of stuff. This bike hasn't seen fourth gear in almost a year. But so I think once you get to a certain age, you should also consider not riding anymore. Now, I don't know what age that might be. That's all based on a personal thing. You know, some guys, they could, and girls obviously, ladies too, you could ride well into your 80s and almost into your 90s probably. I mean, there's that picture floating around on the internet of some old dude sitting on a motorcycle, riding a motorcycle. It looks like he's about 137 years old, and he's able to do it, which is cool. And you'll have to forgive my voice if it's shaking, because if it is, it's that front rim that's bent on this bike. But when you get older, you need to kind of make that decision for yourself. If you've gotten to the point where mentally you just can't make good decisions and things, I think you should probably hang up your helmet. But by no means am I in any way in favor of any kind of laws that restrict people based on their age, as far as when they need to either give up their driver's license or give up their motorcycle, you know, quit riding and stuff. I think that's a decision best left made with a family. So here's my plans when I start getting older, and I think that I just can't, oh, look at this shit. When I get older and I feel like I'm just not able to make good decisions, or my ability to ride is kind of diminished, instead of riding two wheels, I'm just going to transition into riding three wheels for a while. I hate being next to people that don't know how to drive. So I'll stop riding two wheels, start riding three wheels. I mean, you know, there's what are those spider things out there, the Can-Ams, which are really cool. I wouldn't have any problem riding one of those things. But there's going to be a point in my life where if I'm going to continue to ride on two wheels, it's probably just going to be tooting around the neighborhoods, which will still be fun. You can find all kinds of cool places to ride around your neighborhood that's not putting yourself in danger or anybody else in danger, based on your physical ability to ride a bike or your mental capacity to make good decisions. I mean, the speed limits in this town that I ride around in, they're 35 miles an hour pretty much everywhere. Now at 35 miles an hour, you have a whole lot of time to react to situations. And there's not a lot of people cruising around at, you know, 60, 70 miles an hour on city streets like there are on some, you know, some major cities. I mean, when I lived in Denver, speed limit could be 40 miles an hour and people would be doing 60.